All right. Everybody, welcome into Real Talk with Spoon and Pudding. I'm the one only Big Spoon.
I'll be the pudding. Oh.
The primary purpose of the podcast is to educate, share thoughts, and opinions. When we have proof and evidence on a topic, it will be brought forth. This podcast does not constitute advice or services to anyone. Spoon and Pudding do not accept any responsibility or liability for anyone, our guests, or anyone's comments or actions based on material we talk about on our podcast. This podcast is for private, non-commercial use, and everyone should ascertain that the information we provide is correct and verified at all times. There shall be no editing, or reproduction of this podcast without prior written permission from Spoon and Pudding. You can reach us at Real Talk with Spoon and Pudding at gmail.com. What's going on, Pudding?
Did you have a good vacation?
Yes and no.
Oh, come on.
I got my son home. I got my son home, so that was good.
So you're trying to sit on him and keep him in the nest? Okay, here goes the spoon. Got him.
It was my phone. It was all supposed to be off.
Oh, so what are you trying to do? Keep him in the nest now?
Well, just close to home.
Close to home?
Yeah.
So is he back close for a while, or you don't know?
Yeah. He's at home till he gets we'll have to go to Smyrna and since he's out of Virginia, Smyrna and whatever they do is paperwork into Tennessee, but he'll do his 1 week in a month and 2 weeks a year unless he's called up and he'll be home. So,
Well, there's been a lot going on. So, what have you seen in your news, or you just ain't been paying no attention?
Last week I ain't paid no attention to nothing.
It appears, what I've seen, I guess, the guy on YouTube, the feds. It's kind of odd. I realized it last night or yesterday that I think it was on the anniversary of Waco that ATF won that case. There's a YouTube guy, CRS Firearms. His name is Matt Hoover. He was promoting a thing called an auto key card on his YouTube channel and got paid money for doing an advertisement, and then ended up getting hemmed up with the ATF on conspiracy to sell machine guns. And I don't know. To me, I think it's pretty bad. It's pretty damning of the situation that we live in. But
well, I seen something earlier from the Libertarian Party saying the DEA, the only thing that they are, let's see, what did it say? Oh, the only thing that they're allowed to do by the Constitution is disband, and we need to push this now.
But we're not going. I seen something the other day. It was said the reason Tom never kills Jerry because then the show'd be over. And I was a pretty interesting little meme last night I watched, and basically the meme said, saying, when the Republicans have control of the House, Senate, and they don't go kill Tom. The Democrats don't kill them either. They like each other. It's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Well, it's wings of the same bird.
It's a symbiotic relationship in a lot of ways. But
WWE of politics, Democrats and Republicans. You got the supposed good guys and the supposed heels. And depending on which day, you don't know which is which, right?
Yeah. But you so you just went to Virginia Beach. I took the Florida trip, as you can see. Went to Cocoa.
Well, we went to Virginia and then come back through North Carolina and stopped at in Asheville, the place we like.
Mm-hmm.
Italian place over there. I think it's called Manicomi or something on the square downtown. The local folks, it's kind of like the Rebel Rouser of Portland, but that I've come to. It's not as good as Rebel Rouser, I don't think, but it's close.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're so how was the graduation though? Another question.
I guess it was all right. I didn't get to go in. My little girl was sick, so the wife and his girlfriend went in, and I sat out with the little girl. They got to go in and walk around the hangar and see the Black Hawk stuff on the family day, and then graduation day. They went in. Well, I stayed out with little girl because she was sick about almost 3 days of the trip. I had her a big gulp cup for when we were driving, just in case. She had to grab her cup, and chuck away, and then put the lid back on it. Stop, rinse it out, and give it back to her.
What do you think about the? I mean, what should our topic be? There's been so much went on.
I don't know. Just grab one and go with it.
I don't even know how to explain that guy. The one that I talked about a minute ago, the guy from CRS Firearms. I'm trying to figure out how to explain it, or I guess in a way. Let's say this man's facing 45 years. Okay, now you've seen the crazy BS from Chicago with the people rioting and destroying cars and beating up a white girl and all that. So anyway,
I hadn't heard about that.
Oh, you didn't hear about that one either?
I told you, I've been closed off.
Consider this. Pretend this is like a credit card size piece of steel, and it's got a drawing on it. All right, just a drawing, an etching of a laser etching on a piece of steel. It's a drawing. Somebody's facing 45 years in federal penitentiary for promoting the sale of those and being paid for it. The guy that was manufacturing, he's facing 110 years in a federal penitentiary for a card with a drawing, because it's a drawing of a lightning link, And you sit there and you think about when the feds say that, and it's like, where are you getting at here? That somebody who was paid to advertise a product is conspiracy, It's like, what about all these conspiracies?
What was he selling?
It was a sheet. It was a little card. It was like a credit card. It was called the auto key card is what it was called. It was a stainless steel piece of stainless steel. And it had a drawing of a lightning link on it. It can make a AR-15 full auto. If you cut it out and installed it properly and had the proper mechanics, it would make an AR-15 go full auto. So basically, the guy that promoted it on his YouTube channel is facing 45 years, and the guy that was selling is facing 110 years. And you got these goofballs running around in Chicago, burning up cars and beating people up, and nothing's going to be done about it. It was mostly peaceful. It was good weather. That's why they were in the streets destroying.
So that would be like them saying, because I sold cigarette rolling dispensers.
You were.
I'm not selling to the person.
Was the person? Did you check the guy that you sold the dispenser to make sure he was over age and legal? It's kind of what they did. I couldn't believe they actually got it through. Honestly, I was very shocked that they won that case. I couldn't believe it because I thought they ain't got nothing. That's just a drawing. But they got him. I don't know what's going to happen. There's appeals, sure. we'll see what happens. I'm see if I can find a picture of it. I should probably put my finger over it so I'm not promoting the picture. Stupid. It's actually the Matrix is really breaking. So anyway, other than that, that was the one thing that really shocked me this week. That somebody's in jail for a painting. In a way, it's what it is.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous.
Let's see. Nope, there's. Well, this one right there. See that right there? Oh, shoot. Let me turn the brightness down.
Oh, Thomas's comment on Facebook.
See, auto key
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Piece of stainless steel card with a drawing on it, and you cut it out. And then, but basically, you could use it to go into like a door. Like if you had if you locked yourself out of the house and you had it, you could jimmy a door as long as you didn't throw the deadbolt. But I guess you can't throw the deadbolt without a key technically. But you could use it to jimmy into a door, I guess. But
So
it was
so
just
unless
a joke.
so unless somebody knew exactly what they were doing with this metal key card.
Oh, some of the witnesses that the ATF or whoever, they had multiple people cut them out, and only one or two guys was able to actually get it to work. Other people, it made the gun jam, it bent, the gun fired once and stopped. There was stoppages. They didn't know what they were doing. But again, it takes somebody that knows what they're doing. And if look, the point is, if you know what you're doing, you don't need that.
Were they out promoting this and telling them how to do it and all that when they were selling it?
No. They said there were emails where, the Fed boys would message in and ask them, "Hey, how do you do this?" And it's like, they didn't answer. And it always seems better to, don't answer. But don't talk. I mean, and that was another video I watched this weekend.
Then what do they have them on then? They wasn't promoting to make the.
It was a joke. It was a credit card size piece of stainless steel to go in your wallet. That was just a joke. It was just poking the bear in a way, is what some people have been saying. That they just did it to poke the bear, and then everybody got all mad, and the bear come and bit them. And I'm thinking, well, but I was realizing that I think this went down on the Waco Day. So I'm
Probably did.
Well, let's see what I can find. There's a lot of the community's giving him look at this case. Florida man, YouTube celebrity guilty in machine gun case 3 days ago, Jacksonville, Florida. February 21st. Is that Waco Day? That's the news day.
What day did you say it was?
It says February 21st, Jacksonville. There's the.
No, I don't think that's Waco Day. I thought Waco Day was in March.
There it is. Jurors in Jacksonville machine gun trial convict Orange Park businessman YouTube figure. That was the afternoon. It was updated. But it really goes to show you if they can do that, then they can convict. I've heard the expression that they can convict a ham sandwich. If that's the case, then we're in trouble.
Oh yeah. Thomas said his neighbor shot a firearm straight up in the air. It's supposed to be in possession of a firearm. What do you think they'll end up doing to him?
Nothing.
Probably.
Thomas, you don't have that camouflage. Get you a neck tattoo and then you can do it. You're an upstanding neighbor out there, bud. You can always come on here.
Well, I'm going to do a show on that.
You're going to do a show with it. You were supposed to do one the other week, but you dropped it.
Yeah, I dropped the ball.
Well, you're not an upstanding citizen. You didn't get the neck tattoo, Thomas. You got to have the neck tattoo. That way you can lift your beard and say, "There's my I can do whatever I want" card. If it says BLM, you can get away with anything. Oh, I had a video on my other channel strike down because they said I was teaching people how to make guns, and I really wasn't.
Oh,
I
they
was
said
like,
they were saying you were
yeah, they
showing how to make
they
guns.
removed the content because they said it because I was showing a Polymer 80, and if y'all don't know what Polymer 80 is, it's fashioned like a Glock pistol, but you got to drill holes out, and you got to clip parts and do some dremeling, and there's some work involved. If you know what you're doing, not much work. It's pretty easy. So tongue in cheek, yeah, it takes forever. You know, my thing with the video going outside to the mill and doing a lot of playing, you know, I was in and out of the house doing a video, and I had the gun working in 2 hours, and I was setting up cameras in 2 or 3 different locations and moving from tool to tool, but I did it in 2 hours my first time. If I was in a hurry, I could probably get it running in 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but that's also now that's a gun now. They've reclassified that. The ATF changed their mind. Just like now a piece of stainless steel with a drawing on it is a machine gun. That's a machine gun now, according to the ATF.
That's somebody else we need to disband.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. When the Republicans get a hold of it, are they going to kill Tom or Jerry? Is one going to kill the other one? No, they won't. They'll keep it going. There are some congressmen that I think today have just had enough and might actually do something. I did go back to watching Tim Pool the other day. He had Ron Paul on. Did you catch that episode?
No, but I'll try to watch it tonight at work.
It was a 2-hour plus episode. Ron Paul was on, and I sat there, watched him, and just, sulking in a way, like why couldn't we have had him for a president? You know what I mean? And that's where I'm at even today when I, disagree with my dad when he, Trump this, Trump that. And I'm like, why is it dementia in the clown? Why can't we get a statesman?
I wish he would run next year.
The NRA's little poll, because I did go to NRA up in Indianapolis this the weekend before last, and that was the start of my vacation, was going up there. And then it's not, I went to the NRA in St. Louis like a decade ago, and I went to NRA in Atlanta like 5-6 years ago, and then I went to this one, and it has dwindled. That the NRA is dying. They're a dead organization. They're going down. There was hardly I went to SHOT Show in 2020. SHOT Show was probably 3-4 times bigger than NRA show. And NRA show used to be big. It used to be, it wasn't as big as SHOT, but it was, 2/3 as big. It wasn't like it was being dwarfed by them. But
Stinky, you remember Stinky, right?
Oh, I know. Yeah, I talked to Chris.
He worked the other day and said, "What gun are y'all talking about?" The last show we done with me, you, and Red.
Mm-hmm.
We was talking about if that a pistol or is that a rifle. He's like, "Y'all didn't ever had a gun." It was. So I had to tell him what kind of gun it was.
Oh, it was a 9mm AR with a short barrel and a, could be a device on there that might help you control your weapon better. But no, I've still got a little over a month to, if you're on YouTube lives and Facebook lives, you shouldn't put those in your hand. It needs to be like a pre-recorded. If we were going to pre-record, I'd show it off, but it's not like it's something. It's just a little toy. They're fun. I don't know. I like the way they, they're fun to shoot. They're fun to practice with. The 9mm especially because the ammo's cheaper. But that's all. That was the one you were talking about. The gun and I'm just thankful the gun didn't lose its mind and come and kill everybody on the couch.
Yeah, really.
All three of us, when that gun could have just turned around and took all three of us out.
Well, he was asking me because he said he watched this and then he went back and rewatched it because he was like, "Did I miss when they said what gun it was?" And he went back and rewatched it. He's like, "No, y'all never. We didn't say."
No, no, it was just a 9mm AR with like a 10.5-inch barrel. To comply, you can either take the stabilization race off or file for your tax stamp. Unconstitutional. Anything that requires, and hey, there was an interesting one I watched the other day from a guy called on One Shot TV. They have a 9mm rifle, a 30 cal and a 9mm air rifle. That I think, my God, Spoon. But he was talking about defense for felons, is what it was about. What could be a good defense for felons? Well, if y'all don't know, black powder and air rifles are not regulated by the federal government. So anybody can, have them. What the hell? Oh, damn squirrel. Sorry.
And that's what I want. I want a old black powder 6-shooter.
You can, okay, so not legal advice, but $18.99 and older black powder and air guns. Anyone, they're not regulated. There's no regulation. You can just buy them. So if you're like a restricted person and you want to comply with the law, you can have these items in your possession and you cannot go to jail for them because they're not regulated. At least now, the way, just give the ATF a little while and they'll change their effing mind. And, oh no, you can't have those now. Just like, for a decade, you can have stabilization devices. Oh no, you can't. It's like the whole point of putting a stabilizing brace on your pistoled AR is because you are complying. If you didn't want to comply, just put a stock on the stupid thing, in the end. But you put the stabilization device on there because you were told it was okay and you're complying, but then you're not. So just like this guy, Hoover, who was selling a drawing. So now I consider that a First and Second Amendment violation. I mean, art, I thought art was art. How's art illegal? You're going to arrest Bob Ross because he threw something that resembled a lightning link.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know Bob Ross is gone. Oh, I mean, what a relaxing guy. Just sit back and listen to his, how he's painting and just, miss him. But, she's going to paint a happy little tree over here. Did you know he was a drill sergeant?
Bob Ross?
Mm-hmm.
The comedian?
No, the Bob Ross, the painter.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know he was a drill sergeant. I'm like, you're watching how relaxed and chill he was painting, and you're like, how could you imagine that guy, open, I'll rip off your head and shit down your neck hole or something. I can't see it, honestly.
No.
But I can't see him being a mean man. Oh boy. So not too much to talk about. You'll have to watch the Ron Paul thing because it was.
Well, I can't understand why the people allow like the ATF to overstep their bounds or our politicians to make all these bullshit laws that they don't even know what they are to begin with. And there's so many gray areas and loopholes. And it's just to get the people in trouble. That's all it is.
If you don't know what the item is, you shouldn't be voting on it. I mean, am I guilty in a way? Sure. But when I got my sample ballot for the midterms, I was trying to research a little bit. I'm like, what is this? And I was trying to read it. And then they write everything so damn, hard to understand. It's like, could you have just said this in layman's terms, country boy term? Just say something, just does it have to be legalese that sounds like it's good, but then you catch a little sentence in there or some wording in there that makes it do the opposite of what you think it's going to do? Bless you. Boy.
They come out there.
Oh.
1,100 or 1,400 pages of this law or whatever they want to pass. Do you think every one of them's sat down and read and understood exactly what's in these before they pass them? Absolutely not. They threw out there and they go vote right away.
The interns, I mean, I really do believe there's some, some higher things in the background that nobody gets to see that's working on all this. I'll send you that video. I sent it to your neighbor the other day. He watched it and he thought it was fascinating. But I'll send you the video and let you watch it. Maybe we can talk about it next week. I don't know if I sent you that one on simulation theory. I'd have to go back.
You sent me the one the other day, but I didn't even open it up, so I don't know what you sent.
Oh, that was the one about Jamie Dimon from Chase Bank, and that lady was, she's trying to uncover this. Let me see. It says the tentacles of Jeffrey Epstein, wide, and they go reach. Blah blah blah. There's Jamie Dimon, J.P. Morgan Chase, the chief executive investigative journey, Whitney Webb. There you go. Is the CEO. Okay. This is all for redacted. But basically it was, he's in the news because they're trying to find out, was he on Epstein Island? Was he involved with this Epstein thing? It was enabled by Jeffrey, but basically you can see what she's saying. The words are there. Dimon himself was aware of the situation and directly enabled Epstein. That's the one I sent you. Okay. But that one was pretty interesting in a way and now after Silicon Valley Bank, what I was seeing after Silicon Valley Bank went down is everybody was wondering which bank is the safest. At that point, everybody starts worrying about their money. They're like, well, who's got the safest bank? Chase Manhattan is what everybody's told has the safest bank. We're all told that Jamie Dimon's J.P. Morgan Chase has the safest bank and everybody should run there. And then you've got this shenanigan going on. No bank is safe, people. There's none of them are safe.
If you have less than $250,000 in a bank and they're
don't worry
FDIC
about it.
insured,
don't worry about it. The Fed will print the money and give it to you. If you have over 250,000, you should probably worry. You should really worry because there's no guarantee for you. It's just
you better spread it out 250 at a time across all of them that are insured.
Well, that's what I'm saying. This ain't poor people problems. This is rich people problems.
Buy you some gold and silver and put it in the safe.
Well, that's manipulated like crazy. I've been watching videos on the contracts for gold and silver, and you can go to the APMEX and it'll show you contracts that are out, and it's so undervalued in so many ways. They suppress the value. They'll put contracts up and just hose the value down like crazy. It's ridiculous. But if you don't hold it, you don't own it. I always I've got stocks. I still hold stocks in that mining company, and I've got some, I'll go on eBay periodically and say, oh, it's $30 1 ounce silver coin, send it over. You know what I mean? That's how you have silver, because you ordered it and it's delivered. You take possession of it. You don't take a paper receipt promissory of we'll get your silver out of the ground one day.
No,
that doesn't increase the amount of silver. You know what I mean?
I want it in my hand.
If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I mean, that's where I like to, all right, well, I'll get a silver round here and every now and again, get a gun or two every now and again, some ammo, but like I said, that gun spared us, and he's over here. Thankful the gun was merciful.
I was getting worried it was going to jump down and start shooting us.
I thought it was going to go on Audrey Hale on us and just blast everybody, or take off and head towards the elementary school without a man behind it. You know what I mean? If you believe the mainstream media, that's what they'll portray and tell you.
So
If you have a gun, it's going to head to the elementary school.
You must have had a good gun, not one of the bad ones.
It was. I brought it. I raised it right. I didn't abuse it as an infant gun. I taught it to not bite people. It's so fucking stupid. Can you honestly believe that we have this conversation and people know what we're talking about? It's kind of like you should be some kind of science fiction shit. It's like, what is he talking about? Everyone knows that it's a bad guy with a gun.
The first time this, is said when something like that happens is you got them out there screaming from the hilltops, "We need more gun laws. We need more gun laws." How many times do they get on there and preach about the inner cities where there's 100 fucking shootings a day?
Because they already got all the gun laws that the city could want, like Chicago. They got so many gun laws that ain't ridiculous.
Does it
stop they have it? More damn no, doesn't stop it.
They have more.
Even go back before the NFA. Go back to the 1920s and 1930s. I do believe it was illegal to kill people, but people still killed people. So you had the law that said you couldn't do it.
Yeah, but
it still happened. And then all of a sudden, we're going to do this NFA and stop this organized crime. The government didn't like competition. They didn't like the organized crime. It gave them competition. Again, that's the only reason it's gone. It's the only reason you got RICO statutes. The government was trying to weed out its competition. But there was a sheriff in Ocala. I seen a video of him recently the other day, and he snapped. He was on camera, and somebody asked him about, these teens, and they shouldn't have had a gun. Some teens in Ocala had a gun, and he says, do we have gun laws on the books that he's like, do we have a gun law on the book when these teens got a hold of a gun? Yeah. Did it stop it? No. You know what I mean? And no law you're going to pass in the future is going to stop it. You're not going to stop it. It's just, and you got I watched the video. I did watch the video last night of the Louisville guy, the body cam footage of the cops that were up there in Louisville for the bank guy. Did you see that in the news? I watched the body cam. I watched the footage last night, and that was kind of released a little slower so it makes you think it's, I don't know. Still questionable on the Nashville thing a little bit. Some things around that's a little questionable. They're not talking about Louisville as much, but the Louisville thing, like I said, there was a law in the book. You're not supposed to kill somebody in Kentucky. I'm pretty sure Louisville has a law. You're not supposed to kill people, right? You think they had that law in the 1800s? Mm-hmm. I'm sure they did. If you killed somebody in the 1800s, you'd probably get a short drop and a sudden stop. They didn't care. If you was caught murdering someone in 1870 in Kentucky, I'm sure they hang your ass and find a tree and just get a horse and just hoist you up. All right. Problem solved. But you also you got to think back in them older days, everyone carried a gun. It was just put it in your, it's like put a cell phone in your pocket, put your gun on your holster and carry it. And everyone wants to act like, well, that's the Wild West. And it won't be bedlam. It'll actually probably be more peaceful, and you'll be actually very surprised. I bet mass shootings would drop off a cliff. Any of these people that try to go shoot them up, if everyone was allowed to just carry a gun anywhere, everyone could potentially be a cop at that point. You know what I mean? If you try to walk in a bank or anywhere and pull a gun out, and everyone if one person at the desk, hey, punch your ticket. You know what I mean? You might get one or two guys. I just think of that Elijah Dickin guy from Indiana who stopped that mass shooter at the mall. But no, like I said, I don't really want to keep it going too long. I know you go to work tonight. Poor man.
Yep. Yeah, we've gone long enough, I guess.
Yeah, I'll be back to work tomorrow, unfortunately.
We had a week off. We both had little vacation, so
yeah. I did 3 Florida beaches and a spring, and then NRA show. That was my week. A lot of damn driving though.
Yeah. God. We went to Virginia Beach, but he was in Newport News, so we
Big
stayed
military area.
we stayed in Portsmouth, so we was like an hour drive from where he was and an hour drive from Virginia Beach. So we was driving back and forth everywhere. Then took a detour southwest to Asheville and then come on home. Of course, I had to stop at Buc-ee's over and back.
Oh God. I stopped. We stopped at Buc-ee's on the way up and the way home, and I let the wife take over driving. I needed a nap. That was Calhoun. That was North Georgia, Dalton.
Did you see how much their sandwiches are?
I'm not buying them no more. They're not that good.
It was like $9.
Okay, so they do something in the morning where they changed to like breakfast, and they had the brisket taco was about the only thing they had that had brisket on it. It was $5.99 for a brisket taco. That was like, I'm not paying $6 for that. And then she got a coffee, and then we bought 2 little small bags of little different flavor Bucky nuggets or whatever, the beaver nuggets, and that was
beaver nuggets.
Yeah, that was it. I'm kind of over the Buc-ee's thing. I mean, I told you already, I've had a long standing disdain for the company because of the way they act. And I asked one guy at that Calhoun, because I walked over, because across the street there's a Love's. So I walked over to the Buc-ee's there in Calhoun, Georgia, North Georgia, and I talked to a guy, and I asked him, I said, why is this company, do they got a definition in their rule book about why they're so anti-truck driver? And he started to answer, and he said, well, there's not really nothing that you can search on the trucks. And I said, is it because of the piss bottles, because of the truck drivers and the piss bottles? And he started laughing. He said, that's mentioned. He said, I'm not quoting him by name. I don't even remember the guy, honestly, but this was months ago. But we talked for a minute. We had a good cordial conversation. And I said, look, I get it. I said, but it's not, I seen Buc-ee's 2 decades ago in Texas. I used to pass it when I'd go between San Antonio and Houston. I think it was one of the first Buc-ee's down there. And it was big, and I always wanted to go into it as a truck driver back in like 2001, And I was like, oh man, that looks cool. And then they brag about the brisket, and I started to pull in there the first time, and you see and they'll run you off. If you drive in there in a semi truck, they will flat kick you off that lot. They will come after you.
Bobtail?
Doesn't matter. They do not want trucks on there. So they've got an absolute anti-truck. But it was funny because when I was walking over to that Buc-ee's like 2 or 3 months ago to ask the guy about that, because I wanted to try but that was when I seen the brisket sandwich, and it was like $8. I was like, there's $7.99 plus tax. I'm like, this will be the last time I buy one of these. But you walking in and you see a guy in a hot shot truck. He's a 6-wheel Ford, 350 or whatever, and he's pulling a 40-foot trailer, got a hot shot load on the back, and you can see the pile of piss where he dumped it out the window. Right beside it, I'm like sitting there thinking, yeah, you've taken an anti-18-wheeler stance, but you let these RVs and everybody park out there. And what's the difference? 6 1/2 dozens to the other asshole.
Yep.
And then you get into this, right? It makes me mad. It just frustrates me to the point where I don't want to give him any money.
Well, I got fuel there.
Mm-hmm.
I got fuel there. The wife loves that store. But I went in, I got a fountain drink, and then I went over, was going to get a sandwich or something, and it was $8.95 for a brisket sandwich.
Stupid.
I don't think so.
Oh no. Like I said, I looked at that. I picked up that taco the other morning, and that brisket taco, and I'm looking at it, I'm like, $5.99? No, thank you. Just put it back down. But like I said, I just, I told him, I said, if it's because Buc-ee's concrete can't handle the pressure of an 80,000-pound vehicle, I asked the guy. He said, no, they actually build everything really, very, they don't spare expenses. He said this concrete can probably handle trucks way better than truck stop concrete. You know, I said, then there's no reason they can't let us come through here and take. You could set a time limit, like a minimum. He said, but then somebody would have to watch it. I said, still, it would be an olive branch to the truck drivers to say, we're not completely anti-truck driver. And it just,
but the money they would make would pay for the extra employee to watch.
They would. Oh yes, no. It would. Yes, it would. I know it would, because truck drivers would stop there. If you had a fuel island, if Buc-ee's had a fuel station set up for truck drivers, and then like a double, like if you had 10 fuel lanes for trucks, I mean, you already got 100 fuel lanes for cars. Ain't it ridiculous? You've seen it.
Yep.
I mean, a gas station with 100 fuel lanes, that's retarded. And not one for a truck driver.
I don't know if it's 100, but it's quite a few.
Some of them do, I think. They're big. But I mean, it's okay. Put 10 truck lanes in, put 20 parking spots on the end of the 10 truck lanes, 30 minutes allow, or 15 and 35 or whatever. Let a driver get his break and go get a sandwich. Maybe he likes the Buc-ee nuggets. He just can't get them in his truck, but you're so anti-truck, it makes. But I mean, again, truckers won't stick together. If we'd stick together, we could shut that sumbitch down. You already know that. If nobody would go on if nobody would go on the property, they'd change their fucking opinion. You could change it overnight. If all drivers said, I'm not delivering to Buc-ee's. There's a big sign out in front that says no trucks. Yeah, but you're supposed to deliver there. So he doesn't want trucks there. So we ain't going. This is a truck. The fuel truck stops going, they ain't got no fuel to sell.
They ain't gonna do that.
I know the drivers just mutter on in there to a company that hates you. That's what I don't understand. That company hates you. I mean, most of these companies don't like trucks in their lot either, if you're a truck driver. But that one absolutely hates you. And like I asked the guy the question, no, there's nothing official. It's just, it just says no trucks. They just keep it loose and they won't talk about why. But that's Buc-ee's stance, if y'all would wonder, because I wanted to talk to the guy about it and ask him, and he didn't really have a good answer. He said, we're told piss bottles and the trashiness of drivers. And I know there's a bunch of them that are like that. Like I said, I would have been the guy in the lot dumping a cup out on the lot, but still, it still happens. It ain't, where do you think people used to piss everywhere? I mean, there was no bathroom. What do you, like 150 years ago, there was wall-to-wall bathrooms. You know what I mean? No.
I laugh at the people when they said, you pissed outside? It's like
how did we get here peeing outside? Since
I'm like, the cow, the deer, the rabbit, and the dog all pissed right there, and I pissed with him, but I'm the asshole,
You should have known better, you uncivilized ass. But we jumbled around a little bit. We didn't prepare people. Vacation, we didn't talk or coordinate any stories. But
yeah, we ain't
next week.
What?
Oh shit! Since you left, well, did we talk at all since you left here last?
Nope. Since our podcast, I think we text twice.
Well, I texted you last night and asked you some podcast in the morning, and you said around 8, and I was like, okay, that was pretty much it. I took off to do my thing in Indy and heading back to Florida, and you took off to go get your son and bring him back in the nest and throw him in the closet and keep him for your very own. It's true.
I brought one back and one left while I was gone.
Uh-oh. You didn't tell me about that. See, I didn't even know about that one.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Your empty nest syndrome hitting you now?
Nah.
Come on now. Don't act that way. I can see it. You're like, oh.
As a parent, you never want any of them to leave, but they got to, I guess.
What are you going to do when you can walk around your house naked eventually? Just walk into the fridge naked and get a sandwich and scratch your ass and not worry about nobody behind you. You ever thought about the the freeing,
I do that.
liberating
I do.
sensation.
I do that. I do that now. What are you talking about?
Oh,
Nobody come out of the rooms. No.
Daddy's got his pangalang dangling around while I'm heading to the fridge for a cheese sandwich, ham and cheese. All right,
Well,
man.
I guess we can end it on that note.
Yeah, we'll end it there. Leave everyone with an image.
They don't want that image.
Oh yeah, well, big sexy walking through the house. All right, man. We'll be back and maybe get back to the new thing of pick one story. But you got some videos to catch up on this week, Spoon. So
yeah,
I want to know what your takeaway on Ron Paul was, because that's, again, he's my favorite. He's got to be my favorite politician of this century. Period. But all right, I guess we'll be out of here and we'll see y'all next week.
later, guys.
See you.